I'm here with client Elise, and Elise, in just a 6-month period, lost 50 pounds. Elise, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, why don't you talk about what made you decide it was time to make some changes in your life and seek out the coaching program?
Yeah, so when I came to work with Charles, I was about 1 year postpartum, and a lot of new truths for me as a mom. I absolutely love my daughter Madeline more than anything. And that was one of the positives of motherhood. But one of the things that I personally was struggling with was prioritizing myself, my own health, my diet, my exercise, and just reached a point, about a year in to realize, okay, I need to change, and kind of had to make the difficult decision that I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. I need help from another person, which for me was a little tough to make that ask. But absolutely do not regret my decision at all. Started working with Charles. He's great about, getting you in these habits, daily habits that you need to maintain a good diet, maintain a good exercise routine. And for me, just having that accountability partner was really important. Going into it, I set, an ambitious weight loss goal. At the time, honestly, I didn't even believe it was possible. And that was sort of the role of Charles as that accountability partner to say, yes, you can. What is your progress? How are we moving towards your goals? And it just allowed me to make this goal, make this, kind of promise to myself and to him about what I was going to do, and actually stick with it. And so it's been an incredibly rewarding process. It's not all about the scale, it's about a lot of things, but I feel so much better. I'm able to give back to my daughter more, in terms
Let me jump in about that.
Yeah.
So many moms probably have the same fear that you do, right? Especially a first-time mom. And you have this new little life that's completely dependent on you, and you have a partner, and you work. So a lot of balls you've got to juggle. So what do you think is something you could offer to a mom who might be watching this and saying, there's just no way that I can be a good mom if I start putting focus on myself? I mean, I think one thing a lot of women, and even men maybe in some regard, would struggle with is, that's so selfish. I mean, I'm going to be going to the gym. I'm going to be focused on losing weight. I mean, I have this newborn here. What the hell am I doing? So how would you answer that? I mean, how did you get yourself through that? That's a very big objection someone might face in themselves. So what would you say is a way to see that in a healthier way and to be able to achieve the type of thing you've achieved?
Yeah, so I had always heard a lot of talk about self-care before becoming a mom, and honestly, I didn't really get it. I never had any issue prioritizing myself, doing the things I wanted to do, finding that kind of balance in work and life. But having a baby was just a huge life transition, a huge responsibility, and I struggled. And so it became clear to me that, in order to be the best mom for my daughter, I did have to prioritize those needs of myself. And
Did you fight that little voice? Did you have that little voice in your head saying, oh, you're being selfish, or, you should be home more, things like that? Did you have any of that?
Yeah, I think there is sometimes that sense of selfishness. But what I've realized now that I am prioritizing the diet and the exercise, is that I have so much more to give than I did before.
How's it benefited your relationship?
Yeah, it's been great. I've been lucky to have a very supportive partner throughout all of this. My husband, Matt, we kind of made some rules about, okay, this is how the morning's going to work. So he's going to watch the baby from this time to this time. That was another sort of accountability piece. Like, okay, I've got to get in my workout before, 7:20 when I switch over, and now it's my turn to watch the baby. And so just navigating some of those things, and also having the support and setting up some of these boundaries, not only for myself, but hey, this is how, he's going to support my effort to do this, I think has been really helpful.
What would you say are the top 3 things that you're most excited about now, having lost the 50 pounds?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to now be thinking about exercise in a totally different way. It's not just this like drudgery that I agreed to do, so okay, I have to get up and do it. It's actually empowering, and now I'm getting up this week at 5:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. just to get in the workout, and it feels so good. Like every single workout I think is an accomplishment. And so being able to start the day, having gotten that out of the way,
Cool.
has been a huge lifestyle change for me, something that I had never been able to,
Get
do
yourself
in
to
the
do.
past.
Sure.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So
So.
the exercise, what else?
I mean, I think
How about
it's
clothing? How's that's a rather
Yeah,
practical
yeah,
issue. How many
so-
sizes have you dropped?
I have dropped. I'm learning a little bit about vanity sizes because my size is a little bit different in different clothing, but I've probably dropped. Let me think about that. Like maybe 5 sizes.
Wow,
Yeah. So it is
fantastic.
totally different, and basically my weight now is like where I was in high school. So I wore a dress recently that was one I had from high school, which was just a crazy concept being in my mid 30s. So that was something for me that was, exciting. Again, I don't think it's all about the scale. I
Sure.
think it's about all of these other pieces, but just to feel confident in my body, to get to buy clothes and be excited about, what I'm going to wear instead of just thinking of like, okay, how am I going to hide all the imperfections that I don't like about myself, has been an exciting development.
Outstanding. And the last question, what would you suggest to someone who's watching this right now and they're saying to themselves, I just don't know if I really have what it takes. I don't know if I could really commit to a structure like you're saying here. I mean, there has to be something here that's really difficult. Would you say, what would you say to a person who really fears that they don't have what it takes to be successful like you have?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is it is difficult. At the beginning, when I kind of got the prescribed program from Charles, like I just thought it was intense and almost like ridiculous. Like, how in the world am I going to be able to do this?
How am I going to eat every 3 hours? How am I going to exercise every day?
Yeah. And I had to come up with tools to help myself. So when I first started, I had an alarm on my phone, which I remember I was at a conference one time and my almond alarm went off and I was talking to someone and they're like, what's that for? And I was like, oh, I have to eat my almonds. Like, little weird, right? But just finding the tools
But
that
part
I
of the
needed
plan, yeah.
to stick to the plan. And now it is a part of what I do every day. And so I think that's part of it, is the habits, the ritual, and just adopting that lifestyle. But at the beginning, I didn't know I can do it. I definitely feared I would not meet my goal. And that was one of the scariest things. But if you don't even set the goal, you're probably never going to achieve it. If you at least try, and then you get the folks in your life to help you and get that accountability partner to be on your team, then it actually is possible. And I did not believe that, but it has been possible, and it's been an incredibly empowering experience to go through.
Well, thank you so much for having the courage to share your story, and I'm certain it's going to inspire many people who watch it. Thanks, Elise.